Day 966 off the grid, and looks like the end of the golden weather. It was actually a bit of sun, or quite a lot of sun a few minutes ago, but we seem to have these massive rain clouds coming through. Anyway, yesterday our washing machine started playing up. We've got one of those smart drive things, those Fisher and Paykel machines. Yeah, for all you Americans, it's Fisher and Paykel is how you say it. Fisher and Paykel. Anyway, what usually happens in these is the pumps pack up, and here's a pump right here. This is the second pump I've had in it. This was a second-hand one when I first installed it, and it's gone the same way as the original. What happens, try and get a bit more light in here now, it's gone kind of dark. I don't know if you can see down there, that rust. They rust up, the laminations rust up, and what I believe then happens is that you get these massive eddy currents through the laminations of the motor, and it starts drawing a lot more power than it originally did, which trips this little thermal here all the time. So the washing machine never pumps out the water in time for its cycle, basically, and it upsets the microprocessor, and it does all sorts of random things. Sometimes you get an error code, sometimes you don't. I set this up on the bench here and turned it on, and I have my watt meter here connected, and it was pulling 233 watts. And this motor's rated at 85, and that's unloaded. Unloaded. The coils were getting stinking hot, you know, that varnish smell that you get from overheated transformer type stuff. And of course in a short time the thermal popped. Oh look, the rain stopped. The thermal popped, and then it sat there dormant. 5 minutes later it cooled down enough, it kicked on again. So that's what it was trying to do, emptying the water out. I did initially think I should just be naughty and just bypass the thermal and just run this thing until it totally melts down, but I didn't really want to set fire to the washing machine. Or, you know, overheat the seals and stuff around there and ruin it permanently, you know. So, thought better have a replacement. Now, I don't have another spare proper one of these, so what I was going to do when this originally packed up 2 or 3 years ago was jerry rigging a completely different pump. Well, today that's what I'm doing, and this is the pump I've got here. Can't remember what washing machine this was out of. It might have been a Kelvinator or something like that. I'll have to have a look. Actually, I've still got the control panel for it as well. This is just a standard washing machine pump, all self-contained, unlike the smart drive one, which the body of the pump is actually formed by the bottom of the wash bowl. Very cheap to manufacture, bit of a pain in the ass to repair. I mean, a drop-in replacement's pretty easy. You just get a new one of these and just stick it in. It's a 5-minute job. Jerry rigging up this is a bit more of a time-consuming process, but it could well be a better pump, and I won't have to spend $100 on a new pump, basically. This one, when powered up, draws 11 watts unloaded, which is more like it. It is a bit smaller. You can see it's significantly smaller. So I'm hoping that it can pull enough water fast enough to satisfy the washing machine's brain that it's pumping out. If not, I do have a bigger pump, a 95 watt pump. After realizing that this has been pulling over 200 watts, I have no qualms in wiring the 95 watt pump into the circuit. I'm pretty confident the washing machine will be able to run it, so yeah. But we'll try this one first because it's going to be an easy mount, and hope for the best. I've been tinkering around with this all morning, and it's amazing how time flies. Got to get breakfast underway. And here we are under the washing machine with the new pump in situ. There it is. So what we've got, this here's part of the old pump. I've removed the actual motor bit because I don't need it. It would just got in the way of the new pump. But I've remained with the impeller and all the seals, so that hole's sealed up. This bracket here,
I've cut short here to get easier access to the spigot here, which is not really a problem if I want to go back to the original pump, because I can just use a good quality hose clip like that. The only thing that bracket was doing over that end was helping to hold the original hose on, which of course is now connected to the outlet of this new pump. And I was lucky enough to find this little elbow piece off an old washing machine or dishwasher pipe that was lying around the property. It's a good thing about having junk on hand. That was just the right angle. The fitting onto the original spigot here is a bit loose, so I've used a good quality hose clip to tighten that off, and I'm hoping that won't leak, and I'm hoping I didn't damage this too much getting it out of the end of the hose because it was glued in. The only other issue is this here is a little bit wider than the spigot it's gone on this new pump, so I've pushed it in as far as I could and I've tightened it off again with a good quality hose clip. This coupling here from the elbow to the inlet of the pump is actually just the right size, so I've used one of the original those shitty clamps that the manufacturers use that came with this pump, I believe, or something similar. The wiring, it's got a different connection there, so I've just put a couple of spades on and that plugs into the original connector here that the other pump was in. So we're ready to give it a test run. So the main thing is, of course, will it leak? And the other thing is, will this slightly smaller pump shift enough water to allow the washing machine to operate correctly? So we're going to find out.
And here we go, the moment of truth. Well, I've already done a couple of dry runs, if you will, i.e. without detergent and clothes on the final rinse cycle, but this is the first proper wash as a test run, a medium wash, and this is after the wash cycle. There goes the new pump, dispensing the water at quite a good flow rate down into the drain there. I checked underneath after the test runs for leaks, and there were no leaks coming from my new plumbing, which was great. I'm really pleased when that happens, because it doesn't always happen. Normally there's a leak or two to deal with initially, but there was a leak coming from another part of the drain pipe that I recall noticing the first time I swapped out the pump motor. Well, I put some leaky tape around it, and I'm just hoping for the best on that one, because replacing the outlet hose is a much bigger mission than replacing the pump. So if we can leave that as it is for now, that'd be good. Anyway, that's pumping out the water. I guess the question now is, will it go into the spin cycle? Sounds like it is. We'll go inside and have a look. Well, it's doing that fluff around thing as it usually does, but the lid locked LED's just come on, so this is where it should spin up. The first spin, short spin. Here it goes. That's DJ Wayne Duncan in the background doing a community announcement on Radio Fox, and if you can hear that. Here we go. Here we go. Maybe I should have turned the radio off so you could hear it spinning up a bit better. The extra injection of water, that's to cool the power MOSFETs, because they're water cooled. Saves them putting a big heatsink in there and a fan or something.
Ah, here we go. That sounds like an airplane spinning up. That's what we want to hear. There it goes. In some ways I guess it's quite boring video, just watching a washing machine spin up, and you may not even be able to hear it because the radio going. But believe me, it's spun up and it's got quite a balanced load, so it's not playing up too much. It is at full speed. And there we go, it's deaccelerating now. Another injection. I guess this is the spin ring, so it does this, but like the old twin tub used to do. Good rinsing method, and when that first orange LED goes out, and it'll be on the full proper rinse, and it fills up the tub. Oh, more water in there. Gotta keep those MOSFETs cool, eh? As I said before, it's Fisher and Paykel, okay? Fisher and Paykel. Not Fisher and Paykel. It's Fisher and Paykel, okay? It used to be a Kiwi company. Not so sure if they are now. Spray rinsing, how exciting. Yeah, it's doing what it ought to do. I'm pretty certain of that. I think that'll be enough for now. We'll just come back if it makes it through the final spin alright, eh? Back out at the drain for the final rinse cycle. Final rinse cycle is over. It's pumping the water out now, so it's going to go into the spin, and that'll be the end of the wash. Looks like she's working pretty well. Of course, there's something inherently satisfying about fixing things. You know, replacing that pump myself would have been satisfying, but there's something even more satisfying about a successful jerry rig, because now we can throw in any goddamn pump that we feel like that ever fails again, not tied to a certain type. I am picking this external pump. It's probably going to be superior and give better service anyway. It's certainly a lot nicer on the inverter. I was noticing it before when it was running. Well, I am only doing a medium wash, of course, so normally Betty would have it loaded up to the hilt, you know, with everything she can throw in there, you know. Oh, looks like it's over. Must be spinning now. Yeah, it's doing that bit where it starts to just spin up and eject water as it spins. What do you think of our ancient old gully, eh? Sounded like the lid solenoid just kicked in. Oh, I can hear it spinning up in there. So this will be running the pump, of course, and the spinner, which is the time of maximum load on the inverter. Go and check the inverter.
Well, that might be a little bit close focus, but on the right hand side there, down by the blue off button, you can see one LED lit. That's the load indicator. There's the second one. It's obviously gone into spin now. Recently, running the washing machine would frequently top out this inverter. We've got 3 lit now. It must be speeding up. So I'm picking that lower load of this decent pump is really quite useful in stopping the inverter from being overloaded during the spin cycle. Look at that, it's gone down a notch. Must have hit speed. That's a really good result, I reckon. On day 966 off the grid. Yeah. Well, I can't leave day 966 off the grid without showing a bit of real off the grid wiring that I did today. Nothing to do with washing machines. This here is the relay which switches in the 24 volts from the battery bank here in shed B through to the C-Tech, which charges the batteries in shed A when necessary, controlled by this timer. I've been over that before, but I've put some new wiring through. See that nice big red cable there and that green one? That's the positive and negative. There's the input from the solar panels from the real-time diversion controller. Comes through this ancient fabric covered cable now. They come over here and they're joined onto the original cable here. Here's an interesting way of doing this. These are actually spade connectors that I've insulated with these little shields, well, basically sleeving made from old e-cig tips. I've got a whole box of them from my first e-cig and they're really handy. Of course you could use anything, but basically what you end up with essentially is a butt splice that you can disconnect, which is handy. But this cable here is running through the new trench system. This was a cable that used to run across the lawn between the sheds. It's now neatly installed coming through here, and it's one of these bunch that runs across here now and out of the shed and down the conduit and into the trench. So I really wanted to film the first use of my new trenches. This is it. I've got to redo the other end of this cable, but for now I'll put this back on because the days have gone a bit grayer and I may need these backup batteries to help with running the fridge and stuff over the next few days. We shall see. But yeah, got lots of new wiring to do, but still got to finish filling in the bloody trench. But anyway, that'll do for day 966A. We've done some proper solar around, got this reconnected again. I'm very happy. And the washing machine, yeah, went really well. I didn't film the last of the spin cycle because I filmed the inverter instead, but yeah, went through that, no worries, and there was no over sudsy stuff in the washing machine, so that proved that suds issue was due to the water not being pumped out properly. Day 966, goodbye.